I'm here with Timothy Bracken. Well, allegedly. So, Timothy.
Yes.
I've often in the past called you Timmy Bracken. I've seen you listed as Timothy Bracken Complex, and now Timothy Bracken. So, what's the deal? What the hell is your name?
Well, I think the idea, in my mind, when I did the Timothy Bracken Complex, it was really just to let people know whether or not I was going to play a show with a band.
Gotcha.
So, with a band would be Complex. If it was just me, it'd be Timothy Bracken. And I've kind of gone back and forth between like wanting to release albums as Timothy Bracken Complex, or I don't know. And so I've just kind of just released albums as Timothy Bracken, the last two.
But you are no longer going by Timmy or Little Timmy Bracken.
Friends call it. I think pretty much everybody I know ends up calling me Timmy. It's like.
Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't, because everybody has done it my whole life. It's bizarre. It's
what
like
do you want me to call you?
You can call me whatever you want. My friends always call me Timmy.
I feel like I've called you Timmy so long, but then now that I see Timothy, I do this thing where I stutter and I go, Timothy.
Nobody ever calls me Timothy unless I'm being introduced at a show or something.
Or
scolded. Or punished.
Timothy Bracken, what were you thinking?
That's just that's the stage name.
Okay. We've got to figure it out.
Gotta be proper.
So, Timmy is playing tonight with June Star at Wind Up Space, but we're going to be talking about a show he has at the end of the month at Wind Up Space, right? What's the date on that?
The 29th of July
Monday. Monday, okay.
Playing with a full band, so it's Timothy Bracken Complex at the Wind Up Space.
What time does that show start?
Probably 8.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to do with it is not really make it a proper CD release show, but since I have a band playing of people that I really love, Mr. Burke is going to play guitar.
Burke Sampson. Burke Sampson, amazing guitar player, also plays with the Belvederes.
Zach Branch is going to play bass. Zach Branch is from the Bros, the Baltimore Rock Opera Society.
Oh, really? Cool. Yes, I've seen that guy play.
Mr. Mike Ross is going to play drums.
Cool.
And that'll be the band. And what I'm trying to do is get my new album together for that night, so I can at least have some physical copies, some little homemade, artistic, little weird packaging, self-pressed.
Special edition is what you mean.
Special edition.
Okay. So what Timmy is talking about is for the last 2 years he's participated, actually longer than that probably.
This is 5 or 6, year 5 or 6.
He's participated in February Album Writing Month, which is called FAWM, FAWM.org. So Timmy participates in it pretty actively, so does Andrew Grimm. Andrew Grimm and I started doing it together, and I signed up for several years, but only ever actually did it for 1 year, because you can tell my level of dedication. But you guys are much more dedicated to it. And I was listening on Friday, digging in really deeply into Lions and Catmen, which is the February Album Writing Month project that you produced in 2012.
Right.
So this one that you're releasing at the end of this month will be 2013's February Album Writing Month.
Yes.
So obviously you're not a lazy person, because you write the whole month of February, and then he manages to do full production recording, all completely in your own studio, right? You're playing most of the instruments as well.
It's not so much a studio as it is just my basement. But
they don't need to know that. Don't tell them that.
Yeah,
it's the most amazing studio you've ever been in.
It's magical, really.
It is magical. But that's the thing that's so impressive to me, because I have a basement studio, Grimm has a basement studio, you have a basement studio, Scott Smith has a basement studio. The sounds that get produced out of these rooms are pretty incredible. I think that people would be surprised to see the space that you're creating in. Yeah,
well, I mean, especially when I talk to friends that have backgrounds in engineering and things like that, they're always shocked at how little I used when I make my stuff.
And you have a big sound too. I mean, like the stuff that I hear of your recordings is like really well filled out, full of production. Like it's a big sound.
I'm really crazy about, like, I'm not so much technically versed in mixing per se, but I have worked in studios and production type jobs where I kind of pick up little things that give you like technical shortcuts on how you're supposed to approach EQing and all these kind of things. But then what I found is you end up coming up with weird little things that don't make sense to get a sound you want. And you end up, for me, I end up using those more often than I don't know. I'm just really
Yeah, 'cause
crazy
that's kind
about
of
trying
like
to make a sound that I want to hear, you know?
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because before we get to see you guys, I was talking with Timmy about how he created Lions and Catmen. And I want you guys, after the show, don't do it right now, but you can go to his website, and actually, I think Sean's going to flash it right now. It's timothy-bracken.com. And there is a Bandcamp site that you can get to connected from that page. And if you go to the Bandcamp site, you can listen to all of Lions and Catmen, as well as your two older, right? Disrepair's on there.
All of my proper albums are up there. Disrepair was the first one. The second one up there is
Longer Inside.
Midnight in the Basement.
Okay.
That was the electronic album.
Okay.
I was trying to do like Book of Love, Magnetic Fields type
cool.
of stuff. And then Long Untied, which was like 20 or 21 songs or something.
It's really, really long, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not yet, I have to apologize, I did not get through that one. But
yeah, that's alright.
I listened pretty intensely to Lions and Catmen, and I wanted to tell you guys that the influences that I hear that Timothy has range from Buddy Holly to The Beautiful South, Tom Waits, Scott Walker, REM, XTC, Andy Partridge, a little bit of the Smiths, Peter Gabriel, we talked about that. So just briefly, just for like one more minute, tell us about the idea that we were talking about before we started the show, the idea of being influenced and emulating somebody when you're thinking about the construction of a song.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times when I'm making a song, like after I've kind of got the song written, as I'm writing it, I imagine the production, you know what I mean? Like, I've already kind of got the production in mind of, like, what I want it to sound like. And it's kind of weird because I guess a lot of people might not admit to it. I mean, I can't imagine anybody when you do things a certain way, you get used to doing things a certain way, and you think, oh, everybody does this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I do a lot is I'll think of somebody like Peter Gabriel or something like that song Where's the Bride. I'm like, oh, I want to bring back Phil Collins drums.
Yeah, right.
You know, and like just totally ape the Phil Collins thing. Like, I won't hit my cymbals ever. And
so
I don't
you use
know.
that sort of like as the production idea while you're writing the song itself.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I totally just blatantly ape stuff. I'll just rip people off, but there's something
I think you
that's
can
an
say that you're
honest.
influenced by that. Yeah, I agree.
I think there's something about, like, if you do it right, you can take some element of something that you love and twist it around into your own thing. You know, there's a fine line between, you know, plagiarizing something and actually trying to make something new or add to whatever.
Well, you're
that influence
interpreting
is.
those sounds.
Yeah.
Through the instrument of your brain and your body.
And another great.
And you do it really, really well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But another great thing about doing that, though, is if you try to channel a specific thing, or like a specific style or writer or sound, you end up kind of like tripping over something and being like, oh, you always end up adding something new. You know, like if you try to get outside of what your instincts are as a writer or as a recording artist,
Yeah.
you know, you try to do something new and then that leads you subconsciously into some other
Absolutely.
new thing.
It's part of your education, and you're self-educating. That's what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
basically saying, I want to learn how this sound was made.
Yeah, and ultimately it's just about trying to make it fun. You want to make something that you would like.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully.
Well, we talked about that before you guys got here. We talked about how I was listening to this album, and I've been watching you and listening to you play for as long as I've known Grimm, so 8 or 10 years now.
Yeah.
And there's something really incredible about Lions and Catmen. I encourage you all to support this incredible artist. I think you can pay for whatever price you want to. But there's
Yeah. You
13
can
or 14 tracks, but that means you should do at least $3 to $4 per track.
That's fine with me. I usually emphasize when I'm playing shows. I'm like, look, it's name your price, so you can put 0 in there, but I honestly I prefer for people to hear it, you know. But
Yes.
it's nice when people throw in a few bucks, you know, it makes
Well,
you
you're a
feel
working
good.
musician and you should get paid for your work.
Yeah.
Except for on this show where no one gets paid. But we get paid in love, so we're so glad to see you. I'm going to unfortunately have to cut our interview short because I want to get to the music and have Timothy play these amazing songs for you. I think he's going to play a mix of older material and also new stuff that will be on the disc that's coming out at the end of the month. Ladies and gentlemen, Timothy Bracken.
All right. So, I gotta figure out what I want to play, I guess, right? I'll play a new song, and this song is called Lonely Pet, and this was one of the February album writing month songs. This will be on my album that's coming out, and the idea was that I wanted to write a song from the perspective of my cat, Birdman. Imagining what he feels, you know, we just kind of like go to work every day, or you go out, you know, you just leave him there. He's just by himself, and I imagine like this anxiety that he feels. So if you don't know the story, you could listen to it and be like, oh man, it's such a deep relationship song, you know. And I guess it is, you know, like you have a very meaningful relationship with your pets. So anyway, but it really is a very literal song, you know. But you can interpret it in many different ways. Is it the same? You're an animal. Am I the same? I'm an animal. Hey baby, let's play. I'm really upset. Am I the same when I'm all alone? Is it the same when you're all alone? Hey baby, it's play. I'm really upset. Every night I sleep in your arms. Every day you feed me and leave me. Hey baby, is it the same? Is it your routine? Am I the same? Waiting to be seen. I'm just a lonely pet. Oh, I'm really upset. I'm just a lonely pet. Oh, I'm really upset. Really upset. I'm really upset. So illogical, baby. It's so illogical, baby. Oh, hey, baby. Hey, baby. There we go. Yeah. Lonely Pet. So, let's see what I got here. I apologize for the shape of my voice. I've been gigging a lot, playing a lot of shows, and had a late one last night. All right, so I got a good buddy, another Baltimore songwriter, Michael Baresh. I love this guy, and that's another thing too. One of the things that drives me nuts. We were talking about marketing and how, as an artist or a musical person, the whole idea of success is that you can market yourself where you have this image or a certain kind of little fucking thing that you fit into, that you just do that thing. And I guess it all ties into people just taking themselves way too seriously, and that's something that I really strive for is, you want to create art, you want to make something that's good and worthwhile, but at the same time, you know, it's fucking pop music, but it's hopefully good pop music. But anyway, I'm just an unabashed pop head. I just love good catchy songs, But anyway, so Mike Baresh was texting me this morning. He was like, "Hey, you gotta play Lady Machine." He loves this song. I don't know why. He just loves it every time I see him. So this is for you, buddy. All right. And it's about a lady machine.
She's like a wrecking ball in the next room. Yeah, yeah, lady machine. She's like a wrecking ball in the next room. Yeah, yeah, lady machine. Yeah, shiny as a hubcap, smiling through the bubble wrap. Everybody stand back. I think that something's gone wrong. You better look out now, boys. We made a huge mistake, boys. She's like a wrecking ball in the next room. Yeah, yeah, lady machine, mimicking the human brain and its process. Yeah, yeah, lady machine. We jump the gun and then call it progress. Yeah, yeah, lady machine, yeah. You better look out now, boys. We made a huge mistake, boys. She's like a wrecking ball in the next room. Yeah, yeah, lady machine. Yeah, yeah, lady machine. Yeah, yeah, lady machine.
Yeah. All right.
Somebody named Taliesin says my ex-wife was a wrecking ball.
I dig it. I don't know anything about that. My girlfriend's in the room right now. I'm just kidding. I love you very much. I love you very much. No, it's really not. No, well, it is. It is. It's kind of like about the whole idea of well, I like sci-fi stuff a lot, but I wanted to have this idea of having a humorous vision of like a futuristic fuck doll, but just interpreting that, but from the more comical standpoint. But you didn't ask me what, and hey, it's all right. You didn't ask me what my favorite curse word is. It's got my favorite curse word just has to be fuck, I guess, because I just say it a lot apparently. But anyway, I don't know. I like funny stuff. I thought that song would be funny, so of having the idea of having to call like animal control, but for your lady robot that went haywire. And also, it's kind of like a deep social commentary of the whole thing, because it's always a lady toy, for a dude. Well, do ladies need guy robots? Do ladies want those? Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so Katie, my girlfriend, helped me with a lot of these songs, including the Lonely Pet. This year, the songs that are going on this album, we talked about all the different ideas of the songs and how to make them happen. And but this one is called Kamikaze Highway, and it's also kind of humorous, but it's just about how terribly people drive. and that's pretty much it. Nobody's got any care for driving, and it's almost as if people just want to kill themselves and everybody else around them. So that's what this song is about.
Every morning, every night, yeah, you're looking for a fight. All erratic and crazed, it gets worse every day. Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway. Everybody here drives like they wanna take your life. All I think is, God, please, baby, don't kill me. Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway. No, they're not like you and me, but now it seems they're multiplying. All the terrorists with cars they never want to make it home. Will I make it home? No, I never wish death. Now I'm holding my breath.
Forgot the words.
No, I've never wished it. Man, I'm holding my breath. Look left, look right, and I see a man is coming for me. There we are. Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway, Kamikaze Highway.
Yeah. All right. I'll do a couple more songs. I'll do another new song that's gonna be on the next album, and it's called "Living in the Past." All right.
Living in the past, we ain't going nowhere. We're never going back, so we're all first and last. We're living in the past. When we was young, it sure was fun, but we grew and we got really sad. Now we don't care for toys, but still find joy in the same old hereditary paths. Living in the past, and we ain't going nowhere. We're never going back, so we're all first and last. We're living in the past. We all all learned to spell, but still can't tell who we are or how to keep us sane. Now we're following the man who claims we can save ourselves, so stop bludgeoning our brains, living in the past. And we ain't going nowhere, we're never going back, so we're all first and last. We're living in the past, we're living in the past, and we ain't going nowhere, we're never going back, and we're all first and last. We're living in the past. As the crowds begin to mass, we can all raise a glass. We're living in the past, we're never going back. Are we all fading fast and living in the past? Yeah. Any requests? It's Leonard Cohen. Yeah, she was asking, what is my tattoo on my arm? It's Leonard Cohen. It's a self-portrait he did of himself. And he's my man. But what happened was, I have a funny Leonard Cohen story. Have you ever heard this? All right, so I was working at XM Radio several years ago, and I saw that Leonard Cohen was going in to do an interview with Bob Edwards, and I went just to, on my day off, just to watch, you know, because I love him, obviously. I've got him on my arm now, but so I went and watched the interview, and then when he left, he just went. He didn't have like any handlers with him or anything, so he was just going down the hallway by himself, just Leonard Cohen walking down there. And I was like looking at everybody in the room. I'm like, I'm gonna go walk with him, and they're like, I don't give a shit. So I went, like, caught up with him and got the elevator, and I'm standing in the elevator with Leonard Cohen, and I'm like, trying to think of something to say to him, and I was like, what am I going to say to this guy? I'm certainly not going to say, oh, I write songs too, and you really inspire my songwriting. I really like that. We can commiserate. Let's talk about writing. Screw that. But anyway, so I'm just sitting there not saying anything. We go down the elevator, and then I walk to the front entrance with him, and he's about to go out the door, and he shook my hand, and he's shaking my hand, and I like look in his eyes, and I just start crying, and I'm like, I love you, Leonard Cohen. And I'm like weeping, you know, and he keeps shaking my hand, and he like put his other hand on my shoulder. No weirdness at all. We didn't make out, but he just said, I'm glad you love me. And I was like, I gotta go. And I was like hyperventilating. So that was my Leonard Cohen story. And then a few years later, I ended up getting this tattoo. So I wanted to really start, I don't know why I really wanted to get a tattoo, you know, but for years I'm like, man, I want to start getting tattoos. And I can't think of anything I would want on my body, you know. But then I was like telling somebody that story, you know, and I was like, oh, I should get a Leonard Cohen tattoo, man. Like, how many people have a Leonard Cohen tattoo? Probably not that many. So anyway, it was kind of cool. So if anybody has any suggestions for new tattoos, let me know, because I haven't thought of anything since then. I'll just play a song that I never released. How about that? This was a February album writing month song from, I don't know, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something. I don't know. I have a lot of February album stuff that I actually never put out. It only occurred to me like in the last 2-3 years to be like, oh, I should just make albums out of these, and it since has primarily become the main like creative time for me. But anyway, but I have a few songs that I think are kind of good, so I'll try to remember how to play this, and this will be it. So all right. fighting at the sea all day long. Full tank of gas, man, now it's gone. Now I'm sitting all broke down in the night. My head's all full up with your lies. Lonely mornings, all alone. I remember everyone, and I wonder why I feel uptight. I gave you my heart and I still don't know why. Well, I cut that rope, just couldn't bear all that trouble standing there. And you raised your head and said not to cry. You'll do fine in the by and by. Lonely mornings, all alone. I remember everyone, and I wonder while I sleep inside. I gave you my heart and I still don't know why. I gave you my heart and I still don't know why. I gave you my heart and I still don't know why. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving this way. Thank you to my guest, Timothy Bracken. You can go to his website. I think, can we flash it here? Timothy-Bracken.com. Go to
Yeah.
Bandcamp, download all of his albums. I highly recommend Lions and Catman, but you should get everything. And then you can brush up on all of that and be ready for the show at Lineup Space on July 29th. It's a Monday. You have nothing else to do. There's nothing on television.
Yeah.
There's no other shows going on in town. Just clear your day, show up there. I have a list of
That's it.
people I wanted to thank, but I definitely want to thank Timothy and Katie for coming over, and Timothy for presenting his songs, their mutual songs together. I'd like to thank Woof Digital and Rick Lewis for loaning us his camera last week. We now have our own camera, so we're very excited about that. I'd like to take a second to thank Sean Wilson for running everything. The show's produced by the two of us, but really I just do the easy stuff. Sean does all the hard stuff. I'd like to thank my parents for the piano, and I'm going to forget who else I wanted to thank. Oh, Mobtown Moon tickets are on sale, so check it out. We'll see you again at Listen In with Ellen Cherry on August 25th for We're About 9. Thank you, Timothy, and you're going to listen to a track from Lions and Catman as we wave goodbye. Bye!
Bye.